Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to be working on building the social interaction section. So let's get to it. Okay, so in this video, what we're going to do is start adding these social media icons or call to actions, whatever you want to call them, all right? And we're going to add them directly underneath our title and our view count. Now, as you can see right now, we have 5 individual icons with some text directly underneath them, and they seem to be evenly distributed, okay? So let's have a look at what we've got here when we hover over the main grid. We can see we've got 5 equally sized cells, right? And then for each cell, we seem to have another little grid where we have 2 cells in there, and we got the save and things of that nature, okay? So let's get started with how we're going to mark this up. So I'm going to write the following. So underneath my header, I'm going to have just a div, right? And I'm going to give it an ID of social container. So I'm considering them social media icons, like so. So that will be the overall container we have for all the icons that we want lined up side by side. Then for each individual item here, we kind of have 2 nested children. So we have div, and I'm going to say class equals social item, like so. And for this one, I'm going to put a class of active as well, because I'm going to apply some styles when it's active. And then inside of this, I'm going to have the image and the text. Okay, so the next one, I'm just going to add my image. Source equals images, icons, and we're going to go with, for the first one, thumbs up blue, just like that. Okay, and that's just because it's blue. And then basically I'm going to add an alt and just type thumbs up, like that. And directly under that, I'm going to add a paragraph. I'm going to give this a class of social item title. And here I'm just going to put the number 9. All right. So I'm just going to quickly see how that looks in our current version and save. And wow. Okay. So we do have an issue here, and that is that the social media icons are really big right now, but we're going to fix that when we do some styling, okay? So I'm going to add the rest here for the next 4. So to do that, I'm just going to literally copy and paste, and I'm going to remove the active value here and tab over, and then I'll copy this 3 more times. Paste, paste, and paste. And then I'll fix all the tabbing issues we have right here. So, like so. And actually, one more. And this one here can be tabbed in. Cool. So if I run this right now, we're going to get a whole bunch of thumbs up. All right, so we'll just change the images a little bit here. So we want a thumbs down. So I believe for this I have a thumbs down blue or thumbs down default. Yep, thumbs down default. And I'm going to change the text to thumbs down, like so. And then we'll leave it. No, in fact, we'll make this number 0 to match what's over here. And then for the next one, I'm going to change the logo to be share default, and the alt will set to share. And then in the text here, I'm going to put share. And then for the next one, I'm going to add the save default, like that, and change the alt to save. And then the text here to save, like so. And then lastly, we've got our report. report default, report, and report. And that should be everything. So if I come over and take a look, well, we've got a fair few issues here, obviously. And that is our images are really, really huge. Okay, so let's quickly go and fix that with a snippet. So directly underneath the video view count that we had in the previous video, I'm going to go LD, GC, app, YTC, social, icon, styles, and tab. And then we get all this stuff where for the main container, right, that encapsulates everything. So this thing right here, I'm adding a padding of 12 pixels on both sides. Then for each social media item, which is basically all the children for the social container, each one of those, I'm basically setting default text to like a blackish kind of color. So basically the color you see here, that gray looking color. And then if it's active, I'm setting that text to the bluey color. So that's indicating this blue here. And then for the images, I'm setting all the images to be 24 by 24. Okay, so that should reduce the height of and width of these. And then for each bit of text that goes underneath it, this text here, I'm just increasing that a little bit to 1.2 rem, so that's 12 pixels. And that is it. Okay, now if I save this, well, we're getting a little bit closer. Okay, at least we've got everything kind of where we want it. Now the padding should have worked. I'm not sure why that didn't work. So social container, that's an ID social container. And social container, padding 12 pixels. Oh, wait a minute. I think that's top and bottom, sorry. Yes, that's top and bottom, my bad. We are going to address the padding of the grid, the collection of items here in a different way, okay? So with that said, I want you to now try and see if you can go from this to this, okay? Now, just to give you an idea of how I set it up, I basically have 5 columns and 1 row, right, for each individual social icon and its associated text. And then for each item, I now have a grid as well, where we have the first row including the image and the second row including that text, okay? And then I'm pretty much positioning them into the middle, horizontally. And I'm adding a grid gap there, I believe, of, let's take a quick look, 7 pixels, okay? So now you have all that knowledge. I want you to go and try and get it from this to this on your own, okay? So pause the video, give it a go, and come back to me in a moment. So how did you go? Were you able to work that out? If so, great. If not, well, we'll go through it together right now. So basically what I want to do first is I want to be able to get these social media icons and their text side by side, okay? At the moment, we can see that they're all kind of squashed up together and under each other, all right? So the first thing I'm going to do is make sure my social container that I specified for everything is a grid, okay? So to do that, I'm going to grab this container and just above it, I'm just going to go display grid. And I'll make sure I'm on the right tab here. And make sure I don't have everything highlighted. There we go. And now if I save this, well, nothing much changes yet because it's just saying, okay, I'm going to have as many rows as needed, and as many columns as needed as well, which in this case happens to be 1 column, and as many rows as there are items, okay? So we need to adjust this. I'm going to use the grid property and say I want 1 row, and then I want 5 columns that span evenly. And I'm going to use the repeat function to do that. And when I do this, now we can at least see they're all side by side. Okay. Now, obviously, we can see that the thumb and that is all the way over in the left-hand corner, and that's fine. We can fix that in a minute. Okay. Now, what I want to do is I want to create the grid that's internal here and add that grid gap. Okay. So to do that, I'm going to target each social item because that is a direct child of social container. And I'm going to convert that into a grid. So I just go display grid and save. And nothing changes yet, but that's fine because now we're going to add our row gap. Okay. Now, I don't have to add any other template here because we are just after one column and then as many rows as needed. So I don't need to add a template for this. So all I need to do is go grid row gap and set this to that 7 pixels. And when I save this, now we can see that we have a little bit of space in between these items. And if I hover over and check, we can see we've got that space, right? Now we just need to fix the alignment a little bit because as you can see in each cell, everything is aligned to the left-hand side. Well, we can easily deal with that by just going into each social item and setting justify items and saying I want them to be in the center. And once I do this, well, we've got exactly what we want. Let's compare it to what we have. It's exactly the same. Cool. And that's all we need to do. So that is the end of this video. So I'll see you all in the next one.